I pulled out a rare item with powerful hallucinogenic effects, hoping the man in front of me would help pick a lock. He didn't budge, just shot me a look of contempt, then reached into his boot and pulled out an iron tin holding 2 legendary cigarettes. In an instant, every pair of eyes in the room went wide with hunger. Even catching a whiff of secondhand smoke felt like a gift from heaven. Not just cigarettes, even matches were something the children born here had never laid eyes on. Most people had lived half their lives without ever once seeing light. They squinted against the stinging brightness outside, staring out the window. The older folks understood what it meant.
Still cold. All dead.
In 2030, the United Nations, ignoring the objections of developing countries, launched hundreds of artificial cooling bombs into the atmosphere to combat global warming. Overnight, the Earth was plunged into an ice age. Almost all plants and animals were wiped out. Only those who managed to board the global train, powered by perpetual motion, survived. Surviving the apocalypse came at a cost. The rich paid for front row seats and enjoyed a life of luxury, while those of us at the bottom were crammed into the rear, surviving day to day on protein blocks tossed down from above. We had no human rights. We're constantly oppressed, but simply staying alive was the greatest blessing. Most people had grown used to life without sunlight, but every so often, Wilford's secretary would come to the rear and forcibly take any child who met the height requirement. Nobody knew what Wilford did with them, and none ever returned alive. Watching the officials grab his son, an old father could no longer restrain himself. He yanked off his shoe and hurled it at her.
Give me my son, you fucking bitch!
But the woman barely flinched. She knew the punishment awaiting him would be far crueler than any slap from a shoe. To make an example of us, little Franco smeared lubricant on the man's arm, set a 7-minute countdown, slipped on a ring, opened the vent, and exposed the arm outside. In mere seconds, it froze solid, minus 300 degrees. The minister picked up the man's shoe and delivered a speech to the rear car. Stay in your place, or you're as good as dead.
We must each of us occupy our preordained particular position. I am a hat, you are a shoe. I belong on the head, you belong on the foot. Yes, so it is.
When the 7 minutes were up, the guard retracted the arm, and a spoon tapped sharply, a crisp, chilling sound. In front of terrified eyes, the minister smashed the arm into pieces with a heavy hammer. Among the crowd, our spiritual leader Guillaume finally lost his patience. For 17 years, he had repeatedly called for rebellion. Though he had failed before, he had earned our respect.
Now put that useless gun down. Put it away.
One line from the minister snapped me awake. The guard's ammunition might already be spent. That's why he had the other man lower his gun. I quietly confirmed it. The soldiers' magazines were indeed empty. I told Guillaume, ready to spark a revolt immediately, but he told me to wait for the next signal. The people in the front cars communicated via the daily distribution of protein blocks. Last time, the message was revolt. This time, it was only a name, Nangong Akihide. He was the designer of the train's security system, imprisoned 3 cars away from the rear. Rescuing him and gaining his cooperation meant a direct path to the front cars, control of the perpetual motion engine, and the chance to rewrite the rules. I noticed that when the guards served meals, the 3 steel doors leading to the prison cars opened simultaneously for just 4 seconds. Breaking through in such a short time was nearly impossible, but I had a plan. The next day, I had Edgar collect all the iron barrels in the car and line them up to block the 3 steel doors. We also bought high-purity hallucinogens on the black market, hoping to persuade Nangong Akihide to help. But before we were ready, the meal bell rang. We forced ourselves to stay calm, using our bodies to hold back the battering ram, though our time was limited. When the guards called roll, everyone had to squat or be shot on the spot. As the plan teetered on the edge of exposure, Edgar stirred the others to create chaos, buying precious seconds for the 3rd steel door to open. At the critical moment, though, I hesitated. One wrong move, and the guards could open fire mercilessly on everyone.